Moving along to this story, staying on the story, one of the portfolios seeing a shift in the 7th administration is the police ministry. Let's get a sense of how policing unions feel about the changes in the department. Ziniko Mhlaba joins us now live. Ziniko, what's the reaction to the new minister, Senzo Mchunu, taking over that portfolio?
Good afternoon, Masa. Well, we're talking about a portfolio that has its own fair share of challenges and debates amongst the stakeholders of the policing ministry here in South Africa. Remember that, the former minister, Bheki Cele, came through as a commissioner of police years back before he was promoted into heading that portfolio as a political head. I'm talking about as the minister of police. However, there have been some challenges in that ministry. We're talking about police killings. We're talking about, inadequate training for some officers. We'll remember that whenever, we talk about gender-based violence, it always tracks back to the issues whether, police officers have the capacity to handle gender-based violence cases or not, but also the issues of payments of some of the police officers on the ground is one of the issues, unions in the sector have been talking about. But let's get now immediate reaction from Popcru. I'm going to be speaking to Richard Mamabolo, who speaks for Popcru in South Africa. Mr. Mamabolo, a very tricky moment for the unions. Have been dealing with Minister Cele for quite some time now, since his time as a police commissioner. He has been moved now. We're talking about Senzo Mchunu's coming from the Water and Sanitation Ministry. What's your reaction on that exchange in terms of political heads of the ministry before we get to the issues and the nitty-gritties that are affecting your members on the ground?
Thank you. Look, I think from our perspective, we are not necessarily about personalities, but our main concern is how the SAPS is going to shape itself up moving forward, because there have been a lot of challenges, like you had indicated. I think one of the other operational matters has been the fact that we've never had a national commissioner who has finished his or her term of office. In fact, it was only one who was just favors back then. So what that does, of course, is leads to a lot of inconsistencies within the leadership. But as well, this change also comes at a time when police are being killed on a regular basis. There are challenges about, the uneven allocation of resources within the SAPS, and challenges around promotions, wherein you find officers having been stuck in one position for over 10 years already. So those are some of the challenges that we would like to see being addressed. The other issue that is quite important for us is the issue around the danger allowance. You would remember that there has been an agreement signed through the Safety and Security Sectoral Bargaining Council, which had indicated that the danger allowance would be increased on an annual basis in line with the Consumer Price Index. Now, that was back in 2003, and up to so far, not much has happened, because it was only earlier this year wherein the former minister increased it to 700 from 500. So we believe that those are some of the issues that we would like to see the current minister addressing urgently.
I understand that you just said it's not about personalities in terms of who heads the ministry at a political level, but the issues of experience, the issues of having people who have institutional memory about the portfolio must be important for policing unions. We understand that police commissioners have been compared to Mr. Mkhwanaza from KZN, saying that he's doing a pretty good job that side because he's a former police officer. Don't you think maybe it's time at the highest level also have people who understand the career, who understand the industry and the nitty-gritties and the challenges faced by the officers on the ground?
Yeah, look, having experience does count for a lot, because you would expect that the person would be acclimatized to challenges and conditions within the department. But however, it has been said that it's the president's prerogative to appoint. And in most instances, where not only within the police alone, across different ministries, we get appointments of people who do not have sufficient experience. Steenhuisen, for example, doesn't even have matric, but he's now, he's got a senior position in government. So those are some of the things that we would obviously like to see being addressed in the long term. It would have been beneficial. However, we are here where we are, and we'll just have to live with what we have. I think as it relates to Senzo Mchunu, the only experience we have of him was the time when he was still within the public service and administration as a minister, and that was a sad time for us, because I think it was under his leadership wherein the last leg of the Safety and Security Sectoral Bargaining Council Agreement 1 of 2018 was reneged upon by government, and this has continues to have a negative impact on public servants in all sectors, because it definitely affects their pensions as things stand. So beyond that, we do not necessarily have any other experience with him. But we'll look, an appointment has been made, we'll have to live with it. We will obviously be working towards engaging with the ministry to ensure that some of the challenges, especially as it relates to legislations, are addressed. We want the Criminal Procedure Act of 1970 to be reviewed. We want that there are legislative amendments to ensure that police killings is treated as treason in the country.
Let's talk about your responsibilities as policing union in terms of conscientizing your officers about issues that are their responsibility, especially when it comes to handling or dealing with issues of gender-based violence, of dealing with with civilians in terms of not handling them in an illegal way. What have you done to ensure that on your part you do your responsibility of conscientizing your members about the rights of civilians, about they are not to do issues? Because we see on a daily basis that there are issues of corruption that are linked or related to the conduct of police officers on the ground. So what have you been doing on your side to work on those aspects?
Yeah, I must firstly say to you that a majority of our police officers are committed to serving the people of South Africa with dignity. Of course, there might be those rotten apples here and there, but overall as a union we've been conducting different lessons through our platforms, of course, wherein we engage members and, of course, speak to them about the importance of being honorable and, of course, how to work with communities. I think one of the critical things that we've always impressed upon as a union is that we need to build good working relations between police and communities. And, of course, we work with Safer South Africa Foundation that not only focuses on challenges as they happen, but works around ensuring that we teach learners, or rather we take them through what the criminal justice system is all about, and of course develop good working relations from that level onwards. So there are many other activities that we continue to conduct through our campaigns to ensure that our members, of course, abide by the law.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Richard Mamabolo there from Popcru, just giving us their immediate reactions to the appointment of Mr. Senzo Mchunu, whom we know that has been in that water and sanitation portfolio for the last term under the 6th administration under President Ramaphosa. Now he takes over from General Bheki Cele as the police minister.